Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm sorry, it's like 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Good evening, my friends. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Michelle from greenerygal.com, and I sell greenery and florals and ribbons and embellishments for people who like to make wreaths, centerpieces, and floral decor. If you are new to my page and you like what you see, you're like me, you like my shirt, whatevs, and you want to see more, you want to come back for my next video, you can text the word JOIN, JOIN, to the phone number 877-861-0546. You can text the word JOIN to that phone number. You will get a reply back, and then you can just reply with yes, Y-E-S, and you will be subscribed. So the next time I'm live, you will get a happy little text message letting you know. If you are joining me, let me know. Say hi. Let me know what's going on, how you're doing, all that jazz. I am here in my warehouse studio in Silver Spring, Maryland. So if you're a local, I especially want to know that. But even if you're not, if you're one of my regulars, if you're new, if you're watching the replay, let me know that you are here and watching. Anyway, so I have pinned a comment that will take you to a web page that has some of the products most of the products we are going to be using in tonight's project. Now, the main, the cornerstone of the design, there's actually two, cornerstone of the design we're going to be doing tonight is this beautiful greenery spray. This is a heavy snow cedar spray. It is spectacular. It is actually very, very high quality. You will see what I mean when we get to the part where we have to cut the handle, because it's a pain in the butt to cut, let's be honest. And I don't have my stem cutter, so we're gonna have to be using I did find my Nippics, you guys. I know y'all were worried after last week. I found them, woohoo! But we are going to be using this beautiful spray. Now this is huge, okay? So this piece is beautiful and gorgeous. It is lovely, heavy snow. You can see what I mean when I say heavy snow. It's got some very good snow cover on it. And now whenever you use things that are snowy, it's gonna shed a little bit. This one actually does not shed as much as you think it does, or as much as you think it will, but it is probably going to shed. It has some gorgeous little plasticky twigs on it. It just has a lot of flair and prettiness. So I actually have one that I have already kind of plucked out a little bit better, and I've already put a bend in it. So can you see? It's kind of like wah wah, because we are going to be putting this in whole on my base, 16-inch. And I feel like the 16-inch is important for this particular project that we're going to be doing, because we're just going to be using this. Let me preface that. This is going to be our main piece. We are going to be adding a few other things, but this is going to be the main design element as far as our greenery goes. I do have some few little sprigs of something that's new that I'm excited to share with you guys, but this is what we're going to be using. So you can see when you put it on a 16-inch, it actually covers about 30% of the wreath. But look how gorgeous that is, you guys. Here's my plan. Greenery, something here, a little very simplistic bow, just a little more greenery and some twigs. That's what we're shooting for. But look how pretty this is just by itself. Talk about a super simple, just amazing thing with impact. Now, if you are doing an 18-inch, you can also do this same technique. You may want to consider getting two and putting, one at the top and one at the bottom or something like that. An 18-inch grapevine, obviously the circumference is a little bit bigger. You're not going to get quite as much wow and coverage with just the one. But I feel like this is going to be very pretty. What I'm going to do, this is going to be like the make it or break it with this project. We are going to try and cut this stem, my friends. Please pray for me. Okay. All right. I'm telling you, this stem is crazy. Oh. All right. I I do not have bad grip strength, just so you guys know, and this gave me trouble. So if you have bolt cutters at home, if you have a stem cutter, it works much better, I promise you. But look, now we've got our happy little thing. Let me take off the tag. I can see it kind of flopping around in my video. So I'm using a little teeny tiny baby zip tie, but I'm just going to go in. Let's see what we got going on in here. Let me get my little zip tie here. You just kind of have to go fishing in there for the zip ties. And we're going to do one down at the bottom. Okay. Give it a little snip. Okay. So here's what we have. Zip tie up here, zip tie up here. This puppy is not going anywhere. Next, let's see. So we're going to go in with some twigs. This is a wispy birch twig spray, okay? It has 7 bundles of these twigs. They are wired down at the base. They are not wired at the tips, so they kind of have this natural flair and pizzazz, which is very, very, very pretty. My first inclination with this would be to cut it up, but guess what? We are going to use it whole, y'all. I know. Oh my God. Y'all are probably like, what is happening? I know. I feel like that. So what I want to do is I actually want to just kind of pop it in kind of like this. It's going to be putting just a little bit of flair right here, kind of radiating down, drawing your eye in towards my focal point, which is going to be right here. Okay. So that's like what I want to do. So I'm going to actually give this just a little bit of a trim. This one cuts much easier. And it has some little sprays of pine cones that we kind of don't necessarily want to hide. So we're just going to kind of go like this. And this is what we have now. Okay. All right. This is actually in there nice and tight, even though it's, like I said, even though the wreath base is kind of hollow, it's still in there very, very well. Okay, next. I did pull a second one because I thought it would be fun to kind of put one on the bottom. And these, did I even take the tag off on this one? Hold the phone. I did. I don't know what is wrong with me. I've been forgetting my tags, y'all. Like, who does that? They're going to revoke my Greenery Gal card. So these are actually at a very good price point. I think they're something like $3. And for very, very pretty twigs that add so much flair and wispy drama, that is an excellent price. These are the same twigs that were in my October subscription box. So all of y'all's subscribers, you should already have 2 of them at your disposal. They're the perfect, what I like about them is they are the perfect size. If you want to leave it whole, so it has the extended handle, and use it in a centerpiece, that's what I did on Tuesday. You totally can. You can also cut each individual bundle. So like I said, there's 7 cuts on this just of the twigs, plus the pine cones. You can actually cut and it's perfectly sized. They're not going to be like super huge and unwieldy and uncontrolly in like a wreath design. They're just going to have kind of that perfect just touch of flair. So here's what we have now. Look at what those twigs added. Like, oh my gosh. So pretty. All right, now we're going to take care of our big old focal point. Now for this, we're going to use a poinsettia. This particular poinsettia is a cable knit poinsettia. You can use, of course, any larger scale, any of those larger poinsettias. If you want to take this opportunity to introduce some color, you can. I decided to keep this monochromatic, snowy, and a little bit on the elegant side, but you could do like a fun peppermint one, or like you could do whatever you want. I'm also going to try something a little bit different. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to snip the head off. Okay. I am not going to dispose of my stem. And I will explain. So we are going to go in with our, you're not going to be able to see this, I don't think, but just because of the lighting. This is a cable knit sweater poinsettia. You can use larger scale magnolias, any kind of big flower. All right, so Whew. All right, we got our poinsettia. I have fluffed it out. When you get it, it's going to be all closed. You're just going to take it and manipulate each petal. As you do that, it's going to make the petals kind of flatten a little bit, and it's going to be fabulous. Okay, we're going to grab it in some glue, and we're going to snug it up, assuming we can get it in there, right next to the big old pine cone that the spray already had going on it. Be careful you do not burn yourself. Kind of close quarters back here. Okay. Got a little bit of glue on it. That's all right. All right, got our little poinsettia right there. Now, I'm gonna go in with a bow now. Make sure, you know what, let me hit it with a glue gun just to make sure that it's attached in there nicely. Okay. All right. Go back, give it just a little bit of flair. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Check that out, guys. Oh, I always turn it the wrong way. What do you think? Looking good, right? Okay. Next, we're going to go in with a very, very simple bow. I'm going to use this ribbon. Again, the lighting is going to totally wash this out. This has an embossed, it's a cream ribbon with like a white embossing of a poinsettia on it. It is a very subtle pattern. It's very tone on tone. But I feel like it's going to be a nice accompaniment. Like I said, this is a monochromatic design. So I really wanted to let the greens and the poinsettia be the star of the show. I went through like 6 different iterations in my head, and now I don't remember what I landed on. So we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna try for like maybe 3 loops, maybe just simple dimple. You know what? I totally meant to zoom in a little bit so y'all can see a little bit better. So I do apologize for that. Oh, you know what? We're going to stick with the 3. This is a 1.5 inch ribbon. Yes, ma'am. I don't want anything that has too much volume because it's already getting just a little bit crowded right here in my focal point. So I want to make sure that we give just a little bit of breathing room to it. And I tightened my zip tie, but luckily I can still fish in. You know what? Maybe I'll go easy on myself and I'll actually just attach it to the greenery stem that I have in here. I think that is going to be much better. There we go. Yes, yes, yes. I love this plan. So I have that little nub from the very first spray that we put on. I'm just attaching it right to that little nub. And that is going to place it right where I want it. Here is where we are now. Oop. Pretty, right? Very, very elegant, pretty, soft. I do have one more greenery that I do want to put in. Let me just kind of see if I can pick off this little hunk of glue. I have one more green. This is new. This is a fun one. So those of you that follow me and that shop with me, you know I love my greenery textures. I love this kind of more of a lacy cedar. I have a couple of different of the spiky cedars. And this is actually another spiky cedar that like just came in. So this is a brand new. I'm calling this a heavy snow spiked cedar. Now I have here an example of the other cedar that I have. You could choose to use this one if you want to, but you can kind of see the difference in the snow. This one is a regular flocked cedar, it has flocking on it, but it is nowhere near as much flocking as this one. Both of these are interchangeable, but because I don't need very much, I'm opting for this one, number one, because of the snow, and number two, because it's actually at a very good price point. This is under $5. I believe it's like $4.50. And it is very, very, very pretty. Now I did pull two just in case. Don't think we're going to need it because like I said, I really just want to pop a couple of these pieces in and around just to give a slightly different texture to the greens that we already have in place. Okay. So this is the regular flocked cedar. This is the heavy snow flocked cedar. And then I also have a cedar with this exact same spiky habit that has no flocking on it whatsoever. It kind of looks a little bit more like the backside, except on the backside here, there's some snow on the tips, but this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful texture. This spiked cedar is chef's kiss. If you were to chew on cedar, I don't know. So this is, like I said, this is brand new. I just unloaded it yesterday. Whew. All right. And now I'm going to go in and I'm just going to start looking for places. Like I feel like there's a place right here that could benefit from this cedar. It's, that actually feels a little bit heavy to me. So see, it seems to be just a little bit out of bounds with what I was hoping for. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right in. I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to leave a few of those pieces there. But check it out. Now I've got another cut that I can use somewhere else. So let's put this one right here. I usually do work on my easel, so this is a kind of a fun little experiment to see how I do with it flat. All right, let's cut this stem. And this one I know we're going to be cutting into two, but we're really just using this to add just a nice, pretty, another kind of texture to our design. So the lacy cedar that was on that very first piece that we put on kind of has a little bit more of a like a wispy vibe to it. And then of course the wispy twigs are also wispy. So I wanted to get something that has a little bit more volume and a little bit more of that spiky texture in there just to mix it up a little bit. Y'all know it's, you know, I love me my textures. So, so that's kind of what the whole goal is. You honestly probably you could stop whenever you guys want to, right? You know, this is, when you're doing a design, it is yours. You can totally roll with it and go as much or as little as you want. I'm trying to be on the side of caution because like I said, I want to have some lower priced alternatives. And also, you know what, this comes together very, very quickly. I know I'm sitting here jibber jabbering away, but it is technically not a difficult design. And if you are a beginner, you can totally kind of roll with this. And if you are more advanced and you just like some of the techniques, but you want to put a little bit more flair, girl, go crazy. Like, you will get no complaints from me. So hopefully there's something for everybody to learn here on my little Thursday night. I'm going to put this piece right down here under my bow. Get that glue string corralled. Okay. Give this a little fluff. What do you guys think? I still have one little wayward piece of cedar. I'm going to figure out a place to put him. But in general, I'm calling this one D-U-N, done. Tell me what you guys think. Did you learn anything? Or are you just kind of like, oh, that's the ugliest thing I've ever seen? Or tell me what you're thinking. Be honest. I can take it. I can totally take it. I just know that I'm happy with it. And when I'm happy with it, that's really all I care about. No offense to y'all's opinion or anything. But, you know, I'm going to put this piece right behind these here twigs just to give a little bit of a background for them. We used one of these greenery sprays. We used one poinsettia. We used 2 of the twigs and 1 of the heavy flocked spiked cedar. So not a huge supply list again. And this is a 16-inch base. So if you're doing an 18-inch, you may need to bump it up to 2 of the greenery sprays, or maybe not. You might just need to plan to add a little bit of something extra to it. But in general, I am very smitten with what we made today. If you are watching this and you are actually interested in purchasing this design, you can message me. Of course, I can make another, or I can just pull this one right off the shelf for you. I need to fix my poinsettia just a little bit. Again, when you manhandle them, sometimes the little wire comes off and we need to do a little bit of poinsettia surgery. I never thought I would become a poinsettia surgeon. That's not what I went to school for, my friends. All right, here we go. Here we go. So, you know what? I forgot my fun little trick that I wanted to try. Let's do that. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this was the stem. Hopefully y'all are still here. This is hopefully going to be the best part. This is going to be either the part that is magical or tragical. So we're going to see what happens. This is the stem from the poinsettia that we did. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try and use this. I have an old roll of ribbon. If you have a thingy from your mesh, the tubing, the inner tube, you could do that. I'm just going to wrap this around. Okay. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You might need to get the hubs or the son or somebody with good grip strength in your house to do this. But we're going to wrap it around the tubing. Okay. Because we're going to try and make this into a little curlicue. This is a idea, different application, but David Powers, who is a florist that teaches in my private group, he actually did a fun technique with us on an earlier tutorial. Not really exactly like this, but kind of the same idea. And it just kind of got me to thinking, you know, when you're surrounded by creative people, you don't necessarily have to copy them, but you start to get ideas on how you can do things. So I did this. Get this little coil. It's a good wire, y'all. Whew. You could also, if you have like those glitter sprays, I actually might do that. I don't actually have the sprays on me, so I might not glue this in yet. But you can actually spritz it if you have any like scrapbooking kind of materials or glitter or even spray paint if you feel like the white is a little bit too stark. But my thinking is it might be kind of cool. Oh, that is super cool. Let's glue it in. Y'all, we're going to go for it. We're going to do it. We're going to plunk it in right here. And because it's wired, once it's in, we can manipulate it however we want. Okay. See? I mean, you've already included the cost of the stem when you use the poinsettia. You're kind of throwing that away. So why not just try and add it back into the design and add a cute little coil. Something fun, right? A little bit unexpected and fun. Okay? See? If you feel like you need to do a little bit of camouflage work, I'm actually going to, I'm going to probably take a little dollop of moss. Not this big, huge piece, obviously, but just a little dollop. just because I got some glue sticking out, and I also kind of want to glue it in just a little bit better. But nobody's going to see it unless they're looking, and if they're looking, then God bless them, right? That's what I say, friends. They go looking for trouble, then doggone it, they're going to find it. In the end, it's not really going to be very visible. Here you go. And once that's dry, you'll be able to move it around a little bit more. You can do the same thing to make little curly cues. I obviously did not use this because the color is wrong, but you can use your rustic wire. You can just make your little curly cues. If you have your little stems from like your sprays, if they're bendy enough, this one's actually pretty stiff. If they're bendy enough, you can totally do like whatever you want with it and kind of include it in there. So, you know, just a fun little extra touch. It doesn't add any expense. It maybe adds 5 minutes of time. Just think it's a little extra je ne sais quoi. Okay? Hopefully you learned something. I actually had a lot of fun with this project. It's kind of out of my norm, but I feel like it just looks just so pretty. And I'm just very, very over the moon happy with how it turned out. So yay me. Okay, here it is one more time. So yes, this same recipe, you can do the same thing. Good for your large flowers. Sometimes the big flowers kind of give me a little bit of trouble because if you try and do more than one, it can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming. But I feel like if you're doing something like this is a small base. This is a 16-inch base, and it just nestles in there perfectly. So I thank you guys for watching. Again, check out the pinned comment for a list of supplies that I used. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me and for sharing the love and for hanging out with me here on my page. It's always good to catch up with you. I'm going to be I have some new products that I'm going to be adding up over the next week. And then next week, we are going to have a live sale. I have so many new goodies to share with you. I can't wait. All right, I will chat with you guys soon. Bye-bye.